Evan and I were a couple pretending to be in love. In public, he loved me dearly, even fighting with other men for me. Behind closed doors, he hated me to the core, keeping a beautiful mistress on the side. He wore a wedding ring with her and called her a good wife. His friends all called her sister-in-law. I didn't cry or make a scene, I just quietly deleted the old texts where he said he would love me forever. We were each other's first loves, tangled together for many years. Until I got sick and slowly forgot everything about him. He started to panic, making romantic surprises for me and trying every way to make me better. Yet he could only watch as I fell for someone else. In the 7th year of our love-hate relationship, Evan met a woman he truly liked. Her name was Audrey, a freshly graduated young actress. Pure and cute, her smile resembled mine when I was younger. Friends said Audrey was my replacement. Evan probably only saw Audrey as a fleeting novelty, just a plaything. After all, Evan and I had broken up and gotten back together countless times over the years. Everyone watched as he, a proud man, smiled for me, cried for me, and broke his own hardened bones for me. Everyone knew he loved me, to the point of being unable to love anyone else. I suddenly remembered that night when we broke up and made up again. Evan tore my dress and relentlessly sought me. I melted into a puddle. In a daze, I heard him whispering in my ear, "Little darling, we are meant to entangle and torment each other for a lifetime." I once thought Evan would never love another woman the way he loved me. But by our 3rd year of marriage, our relationship had deteriorated. Just then, Audrey appeared. Initially, Evan disliked Audrey. They were filming together in a drama as a couple. Audrey, a fan of Evan, blushed and couldn't hide her affection whenever they held hands or hugged. At that time, my relationship with Evan was still good. He often told me he didn't like how Audrey acted like a love-struck fan. He found her childish in cartoon t-shirts and tacky in hot pants. No matter what Audrey did, Evan found it annoying. But perhaps even he didn't notice that every time he talked about Audrey, he was smiling. During our nightly phone calls, he began to zone out. Mostly, it was because Audrey was so clueless, always bothering Evan with various questions. Despite his complaints, he patiently answered her. Before ending the call one night, I asked Evan, "Can we not talk about Audrey tomorrow?" He smirked and asked, "Jealous, little wife?" He teased me while blocking Audrey's number. A few days later, Audrey tweeted, "A passionate kiss scene with 2 people who are deeply moved. I can't sleep tonight, I want to chat with the person I like all night long." That night, Evan didn't call me. When I tried to reach him, the line was busy. I thought, this time, Evan might be genuinely in love with Audrey. After that night, Evan seemed to suddenly stop loving me. We began a cold war, and he neither explained nor comforted me. For a whole month, we ignored each other. Until the day of the wrap party, during a live interview. A reporter asked him, "Now that work is over, what do you want to do most?" He pulled out his phone, showing a picture of me in an apron, smiling sweetly, and said tenderly, "Right now, I miss my wife and want to eat the food she cooks." In a sense, Evan was my financial supporter. Since he no longer loved me, I decided to hide my feelings, follow his advice, and make more money. That night, I prepared a feast, but Evan didn't come home. I didn't wait for him and went to bed early. In the middle of the night, he called me, apparently drunk, whining. "Wife, my dear wife, I miss you so much. Please come pick me up." He hadn't called me wife in a long time. I felt a pang in my chest and remained silent. His friends were egging him on, "Is Evan calling Audrey?" "Sister-in-law, tonight Evan made a wish to be with you forever." It turned out, Evan was calling Audrey. He called her a good wife, and his friends called her sister-in-law. He had already brought Audrey into his life. I suddenly had a severe headache, abruptly hung up the call, and buried myself under the covers. It was okay. I could pretend not to care, I was always good at acting. News of my and Evan's troubled relationship soon spread. People in the industry said he had fallen for Audrey. He took her out for candlelit dinners, bought her houses and cars, and even rented out an amusement park for her to ride childish carousels. He adored her so much that he wanted to give her everything good in the world. Even the ruby necklace I had longed for but couldn't buy was recently purchased by Evan. I thought he would give it to Audrey. But one morning, I found the necklace quietly lying on my bedside with a note that read, "Happy Wedding Anniversary." It was in Evan's handwriting. I silently crumpled the note and threw it in the trash. I no longer understood Evan's feelings and didn't want to. A few days later, at a private dinner, I met Audrey for the first time. She smiled as soon as she saw me. Looking at my necklace, she said softly, "Evan bought me a bunch of jewelry recently, and I thought this necklace looked a bit old-fashioned, so I asked him to give it to you. I knew you'd look better wearing it." She continued, "Evan said he treats me like a child, and I didn't agree because I'm already 22. But compared to Alice, I suddenly feel I might be too young." I was stunned and found myself laughing at how ridiculous it was. The wedding anniversary gift I cherished was actually something Audrey didn't want. Seeing my unhappiness, Audrey smiled even more sweetly. She played with her hair and continued to flaunt, "Alice, don't be shy about the necklace. Wear it well. Evan bought me so many things, and I can't wear them all. If you like anything else, just let me know, and you can take it." I smiled with her, then gently asked, "If I like something, you'll give it to me?" Audrey nodded proudly. I reached out, touched the sparkling diamond earrings on her ears, and suddenly pulled them off with force. Audrey screamed in pain, covering her ear and bending over, blood seeping through her fingers. I looked down at her, still smiling, and asked softly, "Thank you for the gift. Can I have the other earring too?" Audrey's pupils trembled slightly, as if she was scared of me. Her blood spread across the floor, and people around started to stir. Evan arrived soon after. He saw the blood on the floor and his expression turned cold and harsh. He pulled me into his arms and checked me up and down. Evan lifted his arm to avoid her and gave her a cold glance. That look made Audrey freeze, biting her lip in embarrassment. She didn't understand that for Evan, being from a wealthy family and keeping a mistress was one thing, but causing a scene was too embarrassing. In public, Evan could only love me. His fingers gently traced my furrowed brow, and he tenderly coaxed me, "Who made you unhappy?" I didn't speak, and no one dared to say anything. 2 seconds later, Evan suddenly grabbed a vase from nearby and smashed it on the ground, shouting angrily, "Are you all fucking deaf? Whoever made my wife unhappy, speak up." The atmosphere was stiflingly tense. Audrey clenched her fists and, in a breakdown, shouted, "It's me, it's me. It's all my fault, okay? Evan." She finally couldn't hold back, tears streaming down her face, staring defiantly at Evan, choking on her words, "Blame me for wanting to get close to Alice, only to be disliked by her. Blame me for falling in love with someone I shouldn't have, willing to be called a mistress just to be with him. Blame me for being delusional, thinking he liked me too. Blame me for being a fool." She lifted her wine glass above her head and poured it down forcefully. The wine mixed with blood, staining the fabric on her chest. Crying, she asked Evan, "Evan, is this enough? Has your beloved wife made you feel better?" Evan's hand tightened around my shoulder, squeezing more and more. Maybe he was feeling heartbroken. He asked me, "Is it enough?" His words made me laugh, tears almost falling from my eyes. I asked Evan, "Pretending to love me must be exhausting, right?" "Evan, I have a good idea that will let you love whoever you want, legitimately. Give me money, lots and lots of money, and then we'll get a divorce." Evan's gaze grew colder and colder. He leaned in close to my ear, cursing viciously, "Alice, I should have seen it earlier. You're just a liar obsessed with money. Betraying sincerity, you'll get what you deserve." I smiled, pushing him away despite the headache, and turned to leave. "Evan, you really are a crow's mouth. I haven't told you yet, but the doctor said my head is sick. It might hurt, I might lose my memory, or I might die." Evan was right. At first, I agreed to his pursuit just for his money. Before him, I had passionately liked another boy. Evan knew all this, yet he still tried desperately to be good to me, insisting on being with me, from dating to marriage. I still remember the rainy day when Evan proposed. We were curled up on the sofa watching a romantic movie. He suddenly leaned close to my ear, whispering, "Alice, if you say you love me, I'll marry you right away and let you manage all my money from now on." My heartbeat was deafening. The words "I love you" were almost out of my mouth, but I felt a bit unsatisfied. Who proposes like this? So, I shook my head, deliberately trying to irritate him. At that time, Evan was still shameless and thick-skinned. I don't know where he pulled out a big diamond ring, but he grabbed my hand and slipped it on. I wanted to run, but he held my neck, pushing me down onto the sofa. He bit my ear and threatened, "If you keep resisting, I'll strangle you." That day, Evan's kiss nearly melted me. Under him, I begged, saying, "Evan, I love you," many times. I truly loved you back then, but it seems you never really believed me. My illness worsened day by day. Pills were shoved into my mouth, yet the pain made it hard to eat or sleep. Soon, I started forgetting small things about Evan. My condition deteriorated, and the doctor added more medication. As I was leaving, he frowned and asked, "Why is it always just you coming to the doctor? Where is your family? Your illness needs the company and care of family." But I have no family. What should I do? When I was 6, my mother left me on the street, saying she was going to buy me some candy. Then she never came back. I thought I would never see my mom again in this lifetime. Until I met Audrey in the hospital. The ear I had torn was swollen, and she was there to change the bandages. Accompanying her was a middle-aged woman. I almost thought I was seeing things. That woman seemed to be my mother. I ran uncontrollably towards her, and Audrey stepped back in fright. My mom protected her, pushing me away harshly and cursing, "You bitch, you want to bully my daughter, huh?" She suddenly grabbed my hair and yelled, "Dare to bully my daughter, I'll beat you to death." She slapped me, and I didn't have time to dodge. Blood seeped from the corner of my mouth, and tears streamed down my face. Mom didn't seem to recognize me, she had long forgotten me. She had another daughter, and her daughter was Audrey. Actually, when I was 13, I happened to see my mom on the street while picking up plastic bottles. She was across the road, holding Audrey's hand, chatting and laughing, looking very gentle. I used all my strength to run towards her, shouting, "Mom, I'm here. Don't go, Mom." She stopped, slowly turning around, looking at me with surprise. Audrey tugged at her dress, disdainfully saying, "Mom, she's a beggar, so dirty." We were both Mom's children. But she wore a pretty little dress and held a cute stuffed bear, while I was in tattered old clothes and a pair of worn-out dirty cloth shoes. I envied her so much. I whispered, "I'm not a beggar, I'm your sister." I extended my hand, showing an ugly smile, calling her sister. Audrey suddenly cried. She hid behind my mom, shouting, "Mom, get rid of her. She's trying to steal my teddy bear." My mom, belatedly realizing, pushed me down hard. Back then, she was just like now, pointing at me and cursing, "Where did this wild child come from? Scaring my little treasure, I'll beat you to death." "No, no, Mo. I'm not a wild child, I'm your little treasure too. The treasure you didn't want." I didn't cry out, "Mom, I'm your little treasure," like I did when I was 13. I pushed her away, just like she used to push me away. She seized the opportunity to pull off my mask, falling to the ground, crying out, "The big star hit me, Alice hit me." Audrey froze for 2 seconds, then suddenly took off her mask and knelt in front of me, begging, "Alice, I know you've always disliked me. You're more famous than me, and I can endure it when you hit and scold me, but my mom is old. Please don't make things difficult for her." Many people took out their phones to record and watch. Audrey really put on a great show. I should protect my reputation, cover my face, and leave immediately. But I couldn't control myself and grabbed Audrey's hair. I looked into her eyes, coldly saying, "You're such a dutiful child, little sister. Then I won't be polite. How your mom hit me, I'll hit you the same way." I swung my bag at Audrey's face, again and again. My heart ached so much. If I couldn't vent, I'd probably jump off a rooftop. How could life be so painful? My mom rushed up and tore at me. Maybe when she finds out I'm her discarded little treasure, she'll never forgive me. But it's okay, Mom, you don't want the treasure, and the treasure doesn't want you either. The video of me hitting Audrey quickly spread online. Netizens rushed to my Weibo to curse me. Are you jealous that Audrey is younger and prettier than you, hitting others so viciously? Suggest checking out Alice's family. She seems like the kind of person who has bullied others since childhood, obviously a spoiled, vicious young lady. Audrey, don't cry. I know where Alice's family is. I'll get revenge for you. When I saw this comment, I was in the underground parking lot, just having parked the car, preparing to go upstairs to my apartment. Suddenly, I heard someone call, "Are you Alice?" I turned around and saw a man holding a baseball bat, his eyes fierce, swinging the bat at me. I didn't have time to react before someone pulled me into their arms. Evan held me tight, the baseball bat hitting his back with a thud. He turned and kicked the man over, cursing fiercely, "If you dare touch my wife, I'll kill you." Evan went crazy, beating the man mercilessly. For a moment, I almost forgot we were in the middle of a divorce and thought he really loved me. But I've already forgotten what it's like when Evan loves me. Evan hasn't been home for a long time. He came to see me because of Audrey. The house is a mess. I've been so overwhelmed that I haven't had the energy to clean up. Evan rolled up his sleeves and started tidying up. He picked up the lingerie I had thrown on the sofa and said with a smile, "Alice, you really aren't fit to be a wife. You should learn how Audrey takes care of people. She's so well behaved, how could you bear to hurt her? Apologize to her. She cries every day, and it breaks my heart to see it." Yes, because Audrey is well behaved, Mom loves her very much. Because Audrey is well behaved, Evan loves her too. What about me? Because I'm not well behaved, do I deserve to be abandoned by everyone repeatedly? I suddenly felt very angry and threw the clothes Evan had neatly folded onto the floor. I looked up at him and shouted, "If you want me to apologize to her, you might as well just stab me." Evan leaned against the sofa, pulled me into his arms, and held my waist tightly to keep me from struggling. He laughed and scolded me, "I knew you wouldn't listen, you're never any good." He pulled out his phone, called the film festival judges, and had me removed from the Best Actress award for the end of the year. I've been in the industry for 10 years, nominated for Best Actress 3 times, and always the bridesmaid. I finally thought I had a chance this year. I even fell down a hillside and got a bloody wound on my forehead, but I insisted on not using a stunt double and finished filming the entire movie. That golden trophy was earned with my life. I knocked Evan's phone out of his hand, and a tear fell onto my arm. I cursed at him, "Don't be so despicable. Evan." He skillfully rested his chin on my shoulder and asked with a cruel smile, "Do you want to apologize? Think it over first." I couldn't hold back any longer and started crying. I yelled at him, "Evan, I'm sick. I can't act anymore, I'll never have another chance to win an award. You love Audrey and want to take revenge on me, but I won't let her be happy, I won't apologize. It's just a trophy, I don't want it." My tears smeared my face, and my heart was filled with grievances with no place to vent. I grabbed Evan's hand and bit it hard. He frowned and endured silently. When I stopped crying and looked up, Evan's eyes were also red. He cupped my face and said softly, "Alice, rather than saying I love Audrey, it's more accurate to say I hate you. I used to love you so much, but all you loved was my money. You used my money to support other men, you really are something. But if there's blame, it's on me for being useless. I knew you were good at pretending to be pathetic, yet I was still fooled and softened. Stop crying, it's just a trophy, I'll give it to you." He hugged me and kissed my ear. It felt like a farewell as he slowly said, "Alice, this is the last time I'll be nice to you." But this time, Evan lied to me. On the day of the awards ceremony, I wore the most glamorous dress and the most expensive jewelry, hoping to make a grand exit. The host announced, "Best Actress, Audrey." The media captured me in the act of lifting my skirt to stand up, turning it into a joke. Audrey held the golden trophy and smiled at Evan, saying, "The person I love promised me that if I won the trophy tonight, he would come home with me to meet my mom. Mom made reunion dumplings at home and is waiting for us to come back. She really is happy. She has everything I want." Mom, Evan, and that trophy I will never get." Evan leaned close to my ear and smiled maliciously. He asked, "Alice, how does it feel to be deceived?" He was taking revenge on me. He never trusted me. He didn't believe me when I said I loved him, nor when I said I was sick. My headache returned. For the last time, I looked at Evan as he began to blur in my eyes, my heart, and my memories. I clutched the fabric of my dress and said softly, "It hurts so much to be deceived." I blinked and asked him, "But who are you?" I passed out at the awards ceremony. When I woke up, I was in the hospital, and my agent Kayla was arguing with Evan. She pointed at me, glaring at Evan on the sofa, and asked, "What did Alice do to wrong you that you had to hurt her like this?" Evan threw the photo he was holding harshly. In the photo, I was in the arms of another man. Kayla was stunned, and Evan asked her with a sneer, "Why are you silent? Feeling guilty?" When Alice was hugging and cuddling with other men behind my back, did she ever think she was hurting me? When she used my money to send other men abroad for education, did she ever think she was hurting me? Kayla interrupted him, "Why don't you ask Alice about these things directly?" Evan sneered twice and said through gritted teeth, "From dating to marriage, I chased after her like a dog. Apologizing was up to me, making up was up to me. Now she's cheating, and I still have to ask her why she doesn't love me anymore and if I didn't do well enough? Am I that worthless? I, Evan, am not short of women. There are many who can sweet talk and flatter. Alice is the first to deceive me. She deserves to die." Before Evan could finish, someone suddenly pushed open the hospital room door, strode in, and punched him in the face. The person, flexing his wrist, looked down at Evan and said slowly, "Let me introduce myself, I'm Lucas, the first man Alice ever loved." Evan instantly recognized Lucas as the man in the photo who was holding me. He was also the one I financially supported to study abroad. The two men in suits began fighting immediately. Kayla shouted anxiously, "Evan, enough. Lucas is Alice's primary doctor. He was holding Alice because that day she was diagnosed with an illness. She was so scared and cried while calling you, but you hung up on her because you argued with her the day before. Where were you when she needed you most? What right do you have to lose your temper here?" Evan was stunned for a moment, and in that moment of hesitation, Lucas kicked him over. He sat on the floor dejectedly, muttering, "When did Alice ever call me?" He didn't know I had called because Audrey answered the phone that day. I had been crying and just wanted Evan to come home and be with me. But Audrey laughed at me on the other end of the line and said, "Sick? Serves you right." She hung up, and I stared at my phone for a long time before not calling back. Evan is very private, only I used to touch his phone. Later, Audrey could freely play with it. I knew I was no longer Evan's only one. He was distracted in love, and I couldn't forgive him. Since that day, I had slowly prepared a plan for revenge. The first thing I did when I woke up was grab Lucas's shirt. Frowning, I scolded him angrily, "Lucas, you thug, why are you fighting again?" Lucas and I grew up together in the orphanage. He was always the most aggressive child there. Most of the time, his fights were to defend me. Lucas's fists were bruised, and I asked him, "Does it hurt?" Evan came forward, grabbed my wrist, and pulled my hand away from Lucas's shirt. He smiled coldly at me and asked, trying to control his anger, "Alice, who are you concerned about? Your man is right here." I looked at him, slowly withdrew my hand, and asked, "Did I get married?" Evan's expression changed. He rubbed my head and said with a smile, "Another lie, Alice. Have you had enough of the tricks you learned in the orphanage?" No, of course, I hadn't had enough. After all, I'm Alice, full of malice. Kayla tossed my examination report to Evan. "My illness causes me to selectively forget certain people and things." Evan couldn't accept that I remembered Kayla, Lucas, and many other inconsequential things, but not anything related to him. He didn't believe that I was genuinely ill and sought out countless expert teams to examine me, but the results always disappointed him. He stayed by my bedside all night, and sometimes I could hear him seemingly crying. I opened my eyes and saw him sitting on the sofa, holding my diary. In that diary, there were writings about how Evan changed his heart. March 20th, 2023, Lucas's first thing after returning to the country was to call me for a checkup. When I was young, I always had headaches. Lucas said he wanted to become a doctor in the future and would definitely cure my headaches. He finally completed his studies, and I'm happy for him. But it's so annoying, I'm really afraid I might be seriously ill. I'm not afraid of dying, I just can't stop worrying about Evan. That clingy person will surely cry when the time comes. That will make me so heartbroken. March 23rd, 2023, I got the examination report, and the results weren't good. I said I wasn't scared, but I still broke down and called Evan crying. The person who answered was the female lead of his new movie, named Audrey. She looks quite sweet but has a sharp tongue. She said I deserve to be ill. She must like Evan, so she hates me. March 24th, 2023, I asked Evan how it felt working with Audrey. He listed a bunch of her shortcomings. He really observes Audrey carefully. He knows she likes Sailor Moon, enjoys drinking milk tea, and likes wearing short shorts with black stockings. I'm a bit angry. It seems like Evan has developed feelings for Audrey, but he doesn't realize it himself. I hope I'm just overthinking. March 26th, 2023, I had some really delicious boiled fish today. Evan likes spicy food, so I said I'd take him to eat it when he comes home. But he suddenly started talking about Audrey again. He said he also had boiled fish for lunch, and Audrey saw it and asked if it was spicy. He deliberately said it wasn't spicy and even gave Audrey a piece to try. As a result, Audrey cried from the spiciness, which was quite funny. Is it funny? Then why am I so sad? April 3rd, 2023, Evan has called me several times in the past few days, but I haven't answered. April 4th, 2023, I went to the hospital for treatment today. The most painful time was when Lucas was with me. But I stupidly thought of Evan. At night, I saw a post on Audrey's Weibo saying that Evan kissed her. They're going to chat all night. I tried calling Evan, but the line was busy. I was going to tell him I was ill today. Forget it. His heart isn't with me anymore. April 28th, 2023, he didn't contact me, and I didn't contact him. It's better this way. I'll just treat him as an ATM and get by. May 8th, 2023, Evan finished filming. He said he missed his wife and wanted to eat the dishes made by his wife. But I don't remember what he likes to eat anymore. Lately, I feel like everything about Evan in my mind is being erased little by little. I saw in our chat history that he likes spicy food and boiled fish. I tried making it for him according to the recipe and even burnt my hand. But Evan didn't come home that night. He called in the middle of the night and mistook me for Audrey. He kept calling me wife, and his friends even cheered for Audrey as sister-in-law. So he wants Audrey, not me. I'm so annoyed, I don't want him anymore. Evan closed the diary and saw that I was awake. He smiled faintly. His stubbly face looked unattractive. I advised him, don't come tomorrow. Our relationship isn't good, there's no need to pretend you love me so much. Don't you like Audrey? Get ready for divorce, I'll make space for her. Evan pinched my face and shook it a little, sounding somewhat angry as he retorted, who said I like Audrey? I, Evan, only love Alice. Remember that. I was intentionally trying to make you angry before. Seeing you hugging Lucas drove me mad. Before I was with Evan, I had already told him I liked someone else. Evan said it was fine, he just thought I needed money and gave it to me. He let me think of him as a financial backer, a particularly caring one. Later, Lucas received a chance to study abroad, and that was when I first shamelessly asked Evan for money. He agreed readily and didn't ask what I needed the money for. It wasn't until recently that he traced my past with Lucas from that hugging photo. Actually, we were just two orphans relying on each other. If there was anything to say, it was that I loved Lucas, and he said I deserved someone better. Evan apologized humbly, it's my fault for wrongfully accusing you without understanding. Be good, let's not divorce. I will definitely find someone to cure you. When you remember everything, you can hit me and curse me all you want. But just one thing, Alice, you can't forget me. Please don't forget me, I beg you. His eyes were red, looking quite pitiful. I suddenly laughed and asked him, even though I don't remember you, Evan, I think it's not that you don't understand but that you never really believed in me. Because I'm an orphan, raised in an orphanage, with no one to care for or teach me. So, while you love me, you also look down on me, thinking I'm inherently despicable and dirty. Evan's expression turned pained. He denied it, but I just stared at the ceiling and calmly told him, Evan, what can be forgotten is not important. I don't want you anymore. When I said I wanted a divorce, Evan treated it as if I were a child throwing a tantrum. He took me to my favorite restaurant, walked down the tree-lined path we used to enjoy, and repeatedly recounted all the little things from the past when I loved him, and he loved me. But I still couldn't remember anything. On a summer evening, Evan took me to the park we used to frequent, chose a quiet spot, and sat to cool off. He opened a bottle of cold soda and handed it to me, smiling, your favorite, lemon flavor. I didn't take it, shrugged, and said, I don't like lemon now. I don't like this place anymore. He was taken aback and looked a bit forlorn. He cautiously asked, then what do you like now? I'll buy it for you next time. I looked at my phone, it was getting late. Lucas was coming to pick me up for a concert. He walked from the end of the tree-lined path, waving at me, holding my favorite strawberry soda. Evan's brow furrowed immediately. As I started to get up, he grabbed my arm and wouldn't let me move. Don't leave, Alice. Don't go with him. He seemed only capable of repeating these words. I warned him, Evan, you cannot interfere with my personal freedom. I said I want a divorce, and you're unwilling. You say you can see our beautiful memories when you close your eyes. But those memories, I don't remember anymore. You shouldn't use your memories to bind me. I want to continue my life without you. Besides, the past wasn't all beautiful. I pried open Evan's fingers. He was anxious, like a child afraid of being abandoned, and followed me step by step. Lucas didn't even glance at him, just lifted a pink little fan to cool my sweaty bangs and nose. He knew I hated the heat. Seeing the tickets in Lucas's hand, Evan came to stop me again. Alice, this band is too loud, you won't be able to tolerate it. Let's not go, okay? I'll play the piano for you. Lucas was displeased. He suddenly got rough, shoved Evan aside, and coldly scolded, stop pretending to be a romantic, you don't know anything. You think everything she likes is what you like. Let me tell you, she hates quiet, hates summer, hates the heat, hates parks, hates lemons, and hates pianos. Now, I hate you too. That night, I sang loudly with my favorite band, Goodbye, Youth. The next morning, I woke up to find myself trending on social media. The hashtag Alice cheating in marriage tag was at the top of the list. In the marketing video, I was holding a beer, with Lucas slung around my shoulders. Audrey had subtly posted a tweet, calling me filthy. The accompanying image was of a rotting cabbage, with the caption, a woman who doesn't love herself is like a rotten cabbage. Evan then posted several GIFs from the concert last night, capturing my profile from a distance. Every shot showed me smiling freely. He said, it was a misunderstanding, I was there last night too. It was the first time I went to a concert with my wife, and she was as happy as a rabbit eating strawberries, bouncing around, and incredibly cute. I realized she likes lively events, singing, and laughing out loud with the crowd. Let's go to more concerts in the future, okay? From now on, I'll embrace the things you love. I didn't know that Evan had been following me all along. He tagged me, seeking a response, but I didn't reply. The public opinion quickly shifted, with people flooding Audrey's social media to criticize her. The Qing dynasty is gone, take off your foot-binding cloth and wash it. Normal friends just enjoy a concert, and you think a shoulder hug makes her a rotten cabbage? In the behind-the-scenes footage, you were leaning all over Evan, touching him. Are you sexually harassing him on set? This sister, who stole Alice's big prize isn't enough. she debuted with Alice's name and then claimed she's young and beautiful, implying Alice is older. The green tea is dead. Alice's fans must be crazy. Have you forgotten how your main character bullied Audrey before? What's wrong with calling her a rotten cabbage? If it were me, I'd throw sulfuric acid at her. At noon, I posted a small essay. I detailed my relationship with Lucas, starting from being an orphan, describing how he protected me, how my mother abandoned me, how she repeatedly pushed me away for Audrey, and why I lost control and hit Audrey. The accompanying photo was a yellowed picture of my mother holding me, with neither of us smiling. Audrey had participated in a reality show with my mother, and keen-eyed netizens compared the two and discovered that her mother was indeed my mother. The internet exploded, with everyone storming Audrey's social media, cursing her mother as a legalistic scold. Audrey immediately shut down her account. 2 days later, my mother posted a long message on her own social media, saying that she did have a daughter who went missing because of her playfulness. After her daughter went missing, she cried every day, and countless times, out of guilt, she wanted to end her life. Audrey's birth gave her hope to live. Audrey was the purest angel and her most precious treasure. As for me, if I were really her daughter, she never expected I would grow up to be such a lying adult. She felt very guilty and deeply pained, as she had failed in her responsibilities as a mother. If I weren't her daughter, she hoped I could tell her where my photos came from. She missed her child and wanted to hug her, to say, "I'm sorry, Mom is late." I quietly turned off my phone. Too hypocritical, too disgusting. In truth, my mother abandoning me was too long ago. Punishing her legally was nearly impossible. But it didn't matter. Evan was desperately trying to win me back. He would deal with all the people I hated. In the following days, Audrey's scandals suddenly flooded the internet. She had slept with company executives before her debut, secretly criticized fans as foolish, and had acted as a couple with many male stars in dramas. Moreover, Audrey's mother had been taken away for investigation due to illegal gambling activities. She called me, pleading, "Baby, save Mom. Let your husband save Mom." Audrey called him, but he didn't answer. "Mom has been looking for you for many years, and finally found you. I haven't had a chance to be good to you. Baby, Mom misses you so much. Don't you miss me? You can't just stand by and watch me suffer. I am your mom." I listened to her crying on the phone, softly saying, "Mom, baby is already dead, you should go with her, go to hell and be with your baby." I hung up the phone with a smile. Evan, leaning against the sofa, closed the book in his hand and asked me, "Are you so happy?" He tried hard to appear calm, but the unease in his eyes, like a dog eagerly seeking a reward, gave him away. He pulled me to sit next to him, resting his head on my shoulder, with a hint of desperation, pleading, "Alice, I'll be very good to you, good enough for you to fall in love with me again, okay? Don't leave me, and don't fall for someone else." 3 months flew by, and Evan still pretended to be deaf and dumb when I mentioned divorce. The good news was that my condition finally stabilized. I had treatment once a month, and that day was always the most headache-inducing. Evan drove me to the hospital, and Lucas waited at the door. He opened the car door to help me out, and we went to the elevator side by side. Evan would always catch up and skillfully position himself between us. With 2 big men on either side of me, each one speaking to my ear, afraid that the other might say one less word. They argued so much that I wanted to slap them both. I pulled a piece of candy from my pocket and stuffed it into Lucas's mouth, silencing him. He chewed on the candy with a triumphant look, flaunting it to Evan. Evan tugged at me, asking a bit petulantly, "Is there any more?" "I want some too." Actually, there was plenty left. I turned to him with a smile and said apologetically, "They're all for Lucas. He has several surgeries this afternoon, and I'm afraid he might have low blood sugar." Evan's expression momentarily showed sadness before he brightened up again, ruffling my hair. He praised me, "My wife is so considerate, just like before. I wouldn't give such a good wife to anyone else. Alice, you will get better, and so will we." I remained silent. In the tiny elevator with only the 3 of us, this silence felt especially lonely. I kept waiting for Evan to run out of patience and willingly agree to the divorce. I just didn't expect that day to come so suddenly. As the elevator doors opened, I saw Audrey burst in, wielding a fruit knife. Her hair was disheveled, and she looked like a madwoman, shouting, "Go to hell." Audrey's reputation was completely tarnished. Brands severed their contracts with her, and she paid so much in breach of contract penalties that she was left destitute. She must have gone crazy. Quickly, I pulled Lucas to safety. Only Evan remained, trying to protect me, but Audrey's knife struck his shoulder. The chaos happened too fast and too suddenly. By the time everyone reacted, Evan was already on the floor. His gaze remained fixed on me. I saw the light in his eyes, the light that always believed in "I love him" go out. I divorced Evan. He gave me a lot of money, which I, of course, accepted. His infidelity was my due compensation. On the day I saw Evan at the Civil Affairs Bureau, he looked extremely haggard. I heard that Audrey's knife struck a critical area, injuring his heart severely, and he would need a lifetime to recover. I didn't care about him. I didn't want to do anything extra. Actually, I was worried he might change his mind and not go through with the divorce. Suing was too troublesome, and I might not get so much money. But he only lowered his head in silence, signed the papers, and pressed his fingerprint. When we parted, Evan seemed to muster the courage to look at me one last time. He wanted to smile, but tears suddenly fell. The divorce certificate was crumpled in his hand. I saw him open his mouth as if to say something, but I didn't want to listen. I waved goodbye, said farewell, and got into Lucas's car. In the rearview mirror, Evan's figure grew smaller and smaller. Lucas laughed and scolded me, the most poisonous of women's hearts. I laughed too. I can love someone wholeheartedly, and I can also hate someone ruthlessly. Evan, I have a secret that I will never tell you. I pretended to have amnesia.